Today we are exploring Dartmouth Tower, or more precisely the tower beside it, which fell over and is currently crashed into the side of it. Now I have a few ideas about this tower that I'm going to share with you all today. Now whilst it is, it's made as a point of interest now, there's no items to speak of that I can find, and I've searched this tower top to bottom, in the inside and all, and there's not that much going on. Now, unless there's a safe in the rubble that I didn't see, the only thing in terms of items that I could possibly find was a trash bin at the back. But today's episode is focusing more so on the structure itself. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go into free flight mode. There we go. And we're going to fly up, because I want to show you an interesting fact about this tower. I believe it was actually in construction stage, so this tower wasn't finished. It's not furnished inside in the slightest. Now you could say, of course, players would never come up here, but that's not the world building I want to do. I want to pretend that there was actual thought put into this. So we can see that the top half of it is pretty much a skeleton structure. There isn't all that much apart from some outside cladding, and of course the steel structure through the middle. Now a lot of these bigger towers actually have a massive steel or concrete core to them, which would obviously mean they could withstand substantially more impact, such as nuclear. Not that that's what they're designed for, but as something to bear in mind, because I think if I go inside of this, well, it's not showing you, but most of these would have a concrete core for elevators and the like. As for just the single piece of steel that runs through the middle, I would say this tower, whilst under construction, wasn't finished. Had it been finished, would it have made it much more stable? Probably not, although the cladding would have given a lot of surface area for the force of the explosion to hit it. Now we know southwest was the detonation, and we can see exactly how this tower was toppled, again, southwest. Now, if it wasn't for the Dartmouth Tower, this would have caused considerable damage. It probably would have wiped out Leighton Towers. The wee pedestrian bridge would have went all the way back and probably smashed onto the wee freeway as well. So Dartmouth Tower actually saved the city from a lot more destruction than it would appear. Of course, it sustained a bit of damage to itself, but you can still explore Dartmouth Tower without a problem. Now, the one thing that I don't understand is the brick at the side. Was that like the first level, or was there a tiny building located beside it? It probably was, you know, bricked up at the bottom to look, you know, a wee bit fancy before it turns into just a steel monster. There's no signs, though, that this was a construction site. I would have liked to have seen a wee bit more fencing around it, you know, to give the impression it was under construction. Even an under construction sign. That's how bare minimum I would have needed to have just been like, because then you'd look up and you'd be like, oh, it's a half finished tower. You know, that's why it just didn't really stand the nuclear blast, though the concrete core, I could argue. Although I'm not a civil engineer, I know some of you may have been thinking from my comments there that I am not. And yeah, now after we explore that tower, of course, the bottom of Dartmouth Professional Building is always one of the more interesting places. I've seen robots fight ghouls, ghouls fight raiders, super mutants fight ghouls. It's always a party. One of my favourite locations for just unmarked chaos. Now, let me know your thoughts on any structural questions in the chat. Maybe we might have a civil engineer that could answer them following the channel. That could be quite cool. Alright, well, that is the Dartmouth Tower. I don't know what I'm going to call this one, but I'll come up with a good name. So, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you all in the next one.